did this bit for us that he insisted on doing.
Sully Sullenberger?
Yes. He did a bit where he came out and he's like, Conan, I've made a movie. And I'm like, oh, really? You've made a movie? And yeah, I funded it myself. And and it was about Sully Sullenberger, who landed.
Sully Sullenberger biography.
Yeah, biography about the pilot who landed the plane. And I think maintained that he did this. He had this idea before Tom Hanks. So he's a little indignant.
Well, it was actually, we showed it before Hanks ever made the movie.
Oh, is that true? Okay,
yes.
All right. It was 2009.
It was right after Sully Sullenberger heroically landed on the Hudson.
And so he shot this thing, and he got to our show early, and of course it looks like shit because we just had
it's fast,
with the barest cockpit set.
Are you familiar with Sully Sullenberg?
The captain
who
landed the plane on the Hudson. Everybody knows Captain Sully Sullenberger.
Everybody now knows who he is. I've known him for quite a long time.
You knew him before this whole thing happened?
I knew him 10 years ago.
You knew Sully Sullenberger, the captain who landed the plane on the Hudson, that long?
Yes.
10 years?
Yes. And I, as soon as I first met him, I thought there's something special about this guy, and I bought his story.
You're kidding. That's fantastic. That's great.
Yeah, I met him in, where'd I meet him? Airport. I met him. It was a Sbarro's.
That adds up, yeah.
And he was getting pizzas. He was getting pepperoni, but anyway, whatever. So
to this day, I don't know what that sketch is.
Well, it was a dry bit. It was a very dry sketch.
It was one of the driest things I've ever seen.
So the idea is that Sully Sullenberger heroically landed on the Hudson like around that time.
Yeah.
He made this movie about Sully Sullenberger, but 6 months it's been in the can. So he was looking for an ending.
Yeah.
And this guy lands. So basically,
no. The joke is
the clip.
He made a movie about Sully Sullenberger before he heroically landed the plane on the. So
So the clip is him landing on the tarmac. That's
successfully. He successfully lands the plane
and says, "Thanks for flying American Airlines.
Yes,
have a good day."
So I heard you made a movie. This is going to be a huge movie. You have the movie of Captain Sully Sullenberger.
Yeah, I could. But save it up for the thing. Now listen, you know why you're standing up here. I'm just kidding you. I love you. That's why. Hey, you wanna land this?
Yeah.
Pretty well lands itself. But mostly, I know there's not enough time, but mostly we talked about it was a love story.
What? A love story with who?
Him and his wife, Lori Sungelberger. What was her name? I wrote this bit 25 minutes ago.
You want the clip or should we get out of here?
No, we should do the clip.
All right, take a look at this clip.
Sully, why didn't you give me a seat? Why do I
break it here, I guess?
A clip, and this must have exciting footage.
Well,
This story, the end of this story is incredible when the engines go out and...
The movie's been in the can for 6 months.
You made a movie about Captain Sully Sullenberger, and you finished it before he even crashed the plane on the Hudson, landed
Yeah, and it's too bad, man, because I was struggling for an ending for a long time. It's called Sully Sullenberger.
You clearly spent 10 years you've known this man? You forgot the at the end of his name?
I call him by a nickname, whatever. It's called Sully Sullenberger, Airport Pilot. But anyways, I brought a clip.
Oh, let's take a look at the clip.
Oh, can I say something?
Yeah.
I play Sully.
You play Sully in the movie? We have to see this now. Unbelievably, this was shot before the incident that made him famous, but let's take a look.
On behalf of U.S. Airline, we know you have a lot of choices to make, and we're glad you chose us. Have fun in Kansas City, everybody. It's not a good ending.
It's a terrible ending.
It's the worst possible ending. I keep saying reshoots, and they have no money for reshoots. They're like, I said a long shot of the Hudson. Nothing.
No, that's not going to do it. And he insisted on using the woman who did his makeup, Deborah Pullman. He insisted on using her in the bit, even though it's not even clear why he needed her in the bit.
His wife played his wife.
Yeah, played his wife, and
I have to stand here for the whole flight.
I told you it's cheaper.
so the joke is that, amazingly, a director decides to make a movie about a random pilot, Sully Sullenberger, and makes it about a successful landing before the most dramatic landing in the history of aviation. And he showed this thing. I think he had a fake mustache on.
Yes.
But he's barely, and this is another thing I love about him. He didn't care at all about the craft of acting.
Yeah.
And I'll watch